show. I'd like to welcome everybody. My name's Ian. For those of you who don't know, KO4EFS. I'm new to ham radio. I admit that up front. I don't want anybody to ever think that I'm some Elmer from way back. Okay, I'm years from being an Elmer, and I admit that. All I'm doing here is facilitating. I'm bringing people together, and I found that when I got into ham radio, I found that the radio nets and some Zoom meetings I was on and some YouTube videos were very helpful to me. And so I've tried to combine all three of those things into one platform here. And so I just want to welcome everybody. This is the Southwest Florida TechNet. You all know what our website is because that's how you found your way here tonight. We're doing good tonight. We've got 12 people in so far. There's usually we'll double usually between now and 9 o'clock. We don't have any specific topics tonight. We're just going to come in and talk about anything you guys want to talk about that's tech related. Absolutely no politics or anything like that, please. I want to keep it just a constructive.
You get enough of that during the day anyway.
God, I'm so sick of politics.
So am I.
Yeah, I'm so sick of politics. I'm every day. It's like which side's driving into which building. Anyway, so I want to stay away from all that. But what we're going to do tonight is we're going to take open topics. We'll discuss the topic till we're discussed out, and then we'll just move to the next topic. Very simple. I've actually had a lot of positive feedback on these open topic nights. Not that I want to do them this way all the time, because I think it's good to have a directed conversation. But I also know that that we're getting a great feedback on these open topic nights. So we're going to be doing both. And with the fact that I had no time to put anything together this week, it was an easy sell.
Right.
Let somebody else talk for a while.
I'll share.
All right, go ahead, Steve. Steve's first up.
Okay. Hey, first, just for information, those of you who have WinLink capability probably saw my note the other day saying that we set up a Raspberry Pi as the WinLink server at the EOC. We were having some trouble getting it set up because for some reason, and we still haven't figured out exactly what's going on. This is Rich Schneiders and I. The Pi would recognize the internet, or pardon me, recognize the LAN, virtual private network that the county set up for us some time ago to keep us from screwing up their system. But it wouldn't recognize the internet, wouldn't show us as connected to the internet. And Rich and I wrestled with that. And 2 days ago or so, 3 days ago, we stumbled across something that made it work. And believe it or not, what we had to do was to tell it, okay, yeah, we're connected via a cable, but we're going to turn on Wi-Fi. And Rich set up his telephone as a hotspot. So we connected to the phone hotspot on Wi-Fi, and that worked. Okay, very interesting. So we shut off the Wi-Fi and then discovered that having shut off the Wi-Fi, the internet thing worked. The cable worked. Everything was fine. Okay, great. Let's see if we can do this again. So we turned it off, turned it back on, same problem, didn't work. Same solution, does work. Great. Those things are remarkably stable. So we've decided, okay, we're just going to leave it on and we'll, let it run. And then we'll tell everybody it's running, take a crack at it, see what you think. Well, it ran for 2 days and then it shut down. Same problem, not connected to the internet, even though it was connected to the virtual private network, not connected to the internet. Same solution. This time, however, after applying the solution, it crapped out about 15 minutes later. So today we went back and I was all set to, believe it or not, much as I hate to put another Windows machine on this thing, I was going to put a headless Windows machine on there. Yeah, I know, sorry, Ian. And it turns out that one of the cables that I had, which was manufactured, believe it or not, by MFJ, doesn't work. So we gave up on that one, but Rich had brought along another setup that he had put together, and we put this up on the 030, and it accepts now, it's running a Windows headless computer, Windows 10, but it accepts 1200 baud packet, 9600 baud packet, VARA FM packet, all on the same device on the same frequency. Okay, We're gonna let that run for a few days. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go back and reinstall the other system. And if that, with a different cable, by the way, and if that works, then we're gonna turn on both systems. So we will have at the EOC a 1200 baud packet on 030, as we always have, because a lot of people have that equipment set up. And then on 090, probably 145090, or 010, or we're still wrestling with which one of the two we're going to use. We'll have this other system that's capable of 1200 baud, 9600 baud, and VARA FM, so that people can play with it, get used to using the VARA FM features in that particular program. And the reason for VARA is it's faster. It's a faster system, especially on large files. The catch to it is, and there's always a catch, the two versions of VARA FM, one's free. The free one runs a little bit faster than standard 1200 baud packet. Not earth-shattering faster, but a little bit faster. On the other hand, if you buy a license from the guy who created this thing and who maintains it for $70, it turns on the high-speed version of this thing. And with that thing, a very large WinLink file that would take minutes to transfer takes multiple seconds to transfer instead of minutes. It's actually as fast as, if not faster than 9600 baud, but you don't need a 9600 baud modem to make it work. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. We'll keep you apprised as we make progress and get you more information.
Sounds like
Thanks,
it's
Ian.
implementing a modem in software someplace.
What's that?
Sounds like it's implementing a modem in software someplace.
Basically, it is. Yeah. Right. But it really works. I'm impressed with the thing. I'm telling everybody, you don't have to do this. There's no compelling reason to do it for disaster response or anything else. I'm speaking as EC now. You don't have to do this. If you want to do it, go ahead and do it, but you don't have to.
Okay, back to your internet problem that you had with the Raspberry Pi. Did you try another machine on that connection there? In other words, however, you got some type of, it sounds like.
Okay, now keep in mind that I'm an engineer by training.
Okay.
Right. So the first thing I did was try a different identical setup, a different Raspberry Pi, same setup, same problem.
Yeah.
I tried then a base, a brand new out of the box base Raspberry Pi 3B Plus with their operating system, not the one that we're using on this WinLink thing. Same problem. I plug into the same cable. My laptop PC works like a charm.
Interesting.
Okay. The consensus, Rich and I have arrived at the consensus that there's a glitch in their software someplace that's causing this. And I'm going to write back, I'm going to send an email back to the guy who developed this software package that runs this thing.
Yeah.
And to tell him what's going on and see what he thinks. On the West Coast, where they're using this, where the guy who, Steve Magnuson, who created this thing, is working with one of the big radio clubs out there. They've got 5 of these things running in their system, in their networks. They've been running for over a year with no problems at all. So it's a little weird. I think there's a little glitch in the software that we got that they don't have.
Could be. I was going to ask you something like, is the DHCP server turned on, that kind of thing, but
yeah, it is.
That's not it.
That's not it. Believe me, we've gone through all the IT stuff. I've even talked to county IT and said, hey, take a look at this. And they did. They said, there's nothing wrong that we can see.
Yeah.
It's your problem. Oh, okay.
Oh, geez.
Thanks, Rich. Thanks, Ian.
There we go. All right. So, yeah, I was when I saw you guys do that, I'm like, wow, that's ambitious. But yeah, I mean, why not? I think that I think when it comes to go boxes, it's the sheer size of the thing. I think is what allures people to it. But my thing is with a Windows laptop, I can just do so much more. And I wanted to add one disclaimer in there. I am not a proponent of Windows. I hate Windows sometimes. And the whole update thing, oh my God. Bill Gates. But that being said, it's still better than the proprietary nature of Apple. And now, and the issues there. And I'm just not wanting to learn another operating system. So that's the only reason why I'm a Windows guy. Anyway.
I understand. It's the updates, of course, that drive me nuts. And that's the prime thing that's moving us in the direction of the Raspberry Pi. If I can get that to work and eliminate the Windows problems, I'll be really happy. I got home today, and there's a note on my email from John Scarborough, and he said, "Hey, it appears that the Lehigh Regional Medical UHF WinLink server is down." So just before the net, I forgot about that. Just before the net, I went and looked at it remotely from here, and sure enough, Microsoft had done an update. Even though I've got all the things, all the update stuff is turned off, still managed to sneak in an update and locked it up.
What I've had to do to get around, and I can't use explicitives on here, but that person, Bill Gates, does this to us. And what I do to get around this, okay, is I go into my task manager and I establish, and you can go online and Google how to do this rather than me trying to tell you right now, because I don't fully understand it. I just follow the directions that I find on Google, on a Google search. But you create a protocol on your task manager that will go in every 5 minutes and delete everything out of the software distribution folder for Windows. And I know, you know what? He's an SO, you know what? And I am telling you something. I'm being as nice as I can be right now. They are snake in the grass when it comes to these updates. And so I'm going to show you guys real quick here. Let me share my screen. I'm going to show you guys when you're in here and you go to, I'm trying to see where we're at here. Documents. Let's see here. You go to your C drive and you go to Windows and you go to software distribution. Okay, see that software distribution right here?
Right there.
And then downloads. That's my next download that just came in, right? And yeah, gone. No update for you.
Now, if that were Linux box, what I'd do is get rid of the write permissions for that folder.
You can do that with a Windows box too.
You can do that too. There's actually about 10 ways to do this.
10 or so different ways to do that. You got to go in and make sure that you've got your root and your user profile set up for not allowing updates, because one is allowing it in. And question is, Steve, did we get that WinLink server back online? I know this morning it was taking a connection and nearly instantaneously dropping it. I was working just after the traffic net this morning with Rich, and a couple other guys were on there too, and it would allow us to connect, but instantly drop and not allow us to pass traffic.
Okay, and the answer is yes, it is up and running now. And I forgot to mention this when I sent out the note about the exercise for tomorrow. Am I talking? Yes, I am. If the Pi does not have an internet connection, then what you saw is exactly what it does. It allows you to connect, and then it immediately drops your connection. So if that happens, what it means is it's lost the connection.
Yeah.
Now, is that because it's a Pi and doesn't have the capability or space enough for store and forward at a later date? Or is this by design of the WinLink software itself, no matter which platform it's executed on?
No, this is inherent in the Raspberry Pi platform, in that software. The system we run with Windows has a feature called, or another piece of software called Relay, which is part of the WinLink software system. And the WinLink software then, if the server loses the internet, it stores all the incoming traffic. If the traffic is local and the next guy the recipient logs in, it will deliver the traffic to him. If the traffic is out of the area and the internet is down, it will simply hold the traffic until the internet comes back up, and then it'll dump the whole load into the system. Okay? But unfortunately, the WinLink thing doesn't have that capability. The plan is to run the WinLink, pardon me, the Raspberry Pi thing for most of the year, because we really don't need that capability. If everybody understands, if they sign in and the thing rejects their sign in, that the internet is down, then they won't do anything. On the other hand, in a disaster response, that's different. Then I want that relay thing running. So in that condition, we'd probably switch back, knowing a storm is coming, we'd simply switch back to the Microsoft Windows-based system to make sure we got the relay thing working. Now, I know I understand, say it this way, the Raspberry Pi people are working on a piece of software with the WinLink people that will accomplish the relay feature on a Raspberry Pi. So that's coming. I'm pretty sure that's coming.
Nice.
This meeting has been upgraded by this host and now includes unlimited minutes. Hey, how about that stuff?
Yeah, this is my second free one. I start paying monthly next week. Yeah, this is my second free one. You get 2 freebie long ones, and then after that you got to pay.
Okay, we've got this message in the middle of the window, Ian. It says this meeting has been upgraded by the host and now includes unlimited minutes. Okay.
Yeah, and it's funny because that message has not popped up on the host screen, which is great.
Oh, it's on my screen. I just killed it.
Yeah, it was on my screen and I killed it as well.
Okay,
It
well,
was on my screen too.
I'm glad you guys let the host know what I did. So there you go. So
I was afraid it was going to say this Zoom meeting has performed an illegal instruction and will be shut down.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
The blue screen will be followed by swearing.
There you go. Which nobody will hear. Nobody will hear.
Yeah. All right. There's anything else on Raspberry Pi or WinLink? Okay. All right. In about, I want to let you guys know, I've got a thing coming up I'm going to be doing with Leo 4 and I are going to be doing something with Charlotte County CC Flares. They're doing an emergency exercise, and it's coming up on April 24th. And the reason I bring this up is if anyone else wants to participate with us, I mean, if we could certainly have a couple more hands. We're going to be doing I could send you all the information on it, see if it's something you want to do. We're going to be doing maybe some POTUS stuff. We're going to be doing some other contacts, but we're also going to be working with Charlotte County to do, I think it's what JT8 call, or I can't remember. Whatever. Call. That one. I'm learning that one. Call. I'm learning that tomorrow. I got a Zoom meeting with them tomorrow at 9 a.m. and I'm learning that tomorrow because I have to know how to do it. But I'd love to have somebody that knows how to do that go with us. But we're doing JS8 call. We're going to do obviously 2 meter. We're going to do, I think, 6 meter. They've built these vertical 6 meter antennas, and we're going to be testing those. They're going to be getting one to me so that we can use it out there. And then we're going to string a wire, and we're going to do, I think, 10 meter. I forget. There's a bunch of different ones we're going to do, and we're going to be trying to contact mobile stations and remote operating stations around Charlotte County. And we're going to be operating from Babcock Ranch. It's going to be cool. But if anybody else wants to participate, they're certainly fine with as many of us that want to go up there and set up as possible. And we're going to be doing other stuff from up there too, not just Charlotte County stuff, but we're going to do that stuff, obviously focus on that stuff when it's time to do that stuff. And then we're going to do some other stuff too. So I'm just kind of putting this together. It's their official thing. That's kind of our unofficial thing. If you guys decide you want to go up there with me, it's on the 24th. It's the Saturday, the 24th. That's why I had to move my vacation up a week so I could go. On the night of the 16th for the TechNet, I don't have anybody that stepped up yet to take it. So we may take the night off on the 16th, but I'll let everybody know if someone wants to take it on the 16th. All you do is start a Zoom meeting and you talk like a fool like me for a few minutes, and then you let other people talk. It's real easy. If anybody wants to do that, let me know. I'd be glad to turn the reins over for a night. You can have a topic or no topic. It's up to you. I'll leave it completely up to you. We will have one next week on the 9th. And then I said, I'm looking for a substitute for the 16th. And then we'll be back to normal on the 23rd. And then the 24th is that Saturday exercise up in Charlotte County, if anybody wants to participate. That's my announcement there. Okay, and let's see what else is going on. Let's open it back up for the next tech topic. Who's working on what? Okay, let me throw one out there. Charlotte County's been working on propagation radio science. Yes, yes. Charlotte County's been working on this thing with 6 meters, and they've on Thursday on I think it's every other Thursday night or whatever. If anybody needs the info, I can send it to you. They're doing this. They've been building these vertical 6 meter antennas, and they're actually getting quite a bit of success with it. And they've got this net going now with like 20 of them up there. It's actually becoming successful because so many of them are involved in it, and they all went and built their own antennas to do this, and they're all doing it with vertically polarized 6 meter antennas that are obviously already, they're tuned, so you don't need a tuner or anything. And I just wanted to throw that out there and let you guys know. With my equipment,
FM?
They're doing it. It's sideband. It's upper sideband, but they're using vertically polar. I thought about this too. I'm like, well, that ain't going to work because it's sideband. But then I got thinking about it. The main reason for the horizontal polarization is the fact that we're looking for skywave propagation, right?
Yeah.
Right. So what we're actually looking for in this particular instance is ground wave propagation. So by vertically polarizing it, we're getting the antenna up higher. And if the person you're talking to is also vertically polarized, then there's no loss. I mean, it's working. What I'm saying is they're actually having success with this. And I think it's great. I think it's a neat thing that they're actually basically using what we've learned with 2 meter antennas and applying it to 6 meter antennas, but still using it on sideband. I don't know, guys. I'm just throwing it out there. Any thoughts on that?
I want to try to find out when they meet and on what frequency, and circulate that down there and see if any of us can hear them down here. It's not that far.
No, I'll do that. I have had no success, but I haven't been doing this long, and I don't have a lot of resources when it comes to that band. I've got an old wire I've got cut back here, a fan dipole they made for 6 and 10. And believe it or not, it actually works with FT8 pretty good when it opens up. But my only problem is I'm getting a lot of HF back in the shack with it because it's not too far from the shack. But all right, anything else on that? 6 meters, vertically polarized. Okie doke. All right, let's open it back up. Next topic. Any tech topic? KF4Q. I act like I know what it's doing, but I don't. I just know what channel it is. The only thing I know about CW is it happens about once an hour and it's annoying.
I actually made a CW contact this afternoon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I make fun. I think it's cool actually, but I've never, it kept me out of ham for so long. I'm kind of sour to it.
Well, it's kind of like, it's kind of an acquired taste, I guess. Yeah. I've been a QRP operator for some time. So of course, a lot of the operation on that is on CW. Well, my CW speed is, let's say a bit retarded. So so anyway, I get on something called the slow
better
speed.
Than mine.
Yeah, it's slow speed test. It's something put on by a group up in New England called K1USN. So, and I've been having some fun with that. So they meet on Friday afternoon and Sunday evening. So just look up K1USN.
And it's a CW net.
Yeah,
basically.
It's a CW contest is really what it is.
Oh, okay.
Low speed contest. The speed limit is 20 words per minute.
Wow, there you go.
So, and I like to get down to about 80 meters because they go slow enough for me. So I made several contacts last week doing that. So anyway, so that's one of the things I'm having fun with.
Well, and I did some contesting last week, and what I'm learning is a lot of people that have never done contesting will say, I'm not in the contesting. I don't give a crap about winning certificates. I don't even have any wall space in the shack. I get that. I understand.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to do any contesting at all. And then one weekend, somebody told me, "Hey, do this contest because you keep telling me there's nobody to talk to on phone. Do this contest. There'll be somebody to talk to on phone." And so contesting to me is, I'm not trying to win. I'm not in it to win it.
No.
I'm in it to put phone contacts in my logbook. This is awesome. I actually get to talk to humans and not, I'm actually talking to a human. It's awesome.
That's what makes it a lot more fun. And
Yeah.
and
Even though it's quick,
I love state QSO parties.
Yep.
We got the Georgia QSO party coming up in a couple of weeks. And then the Florida QSO party is on the 24th of April, which you just mentioned for another activity. So you don't ever know. Maybe you could set up a station up there and participate in that.
Hey, you never know. Absolutely, because again, I'm willing to do whatever else you guys want to do that day. I just know there's just 4 or 5 different parts of their exercise I'm going to do too. This is the schedule.
Yep.
Doesn't look like a lot, but there is one that I was told about. Let me see if I can pull this up over here on
I
another
see the
screen.
K1 USN slow speed net, which I was just on today. Test. K1 USN slow speed test. Oh, it's about the 10th or 15th one down. Oh yeah, then it's the 4th one, 5th one down too.
Yeah, that one right there. Yeah, but that's just for it's really a short period of time right there. It's like an evening. Yeah.
Yeah, an hour on Sunday night and an hour on Friday afternoon. Which you new to see the Louisiana, Mississippi QSO parties. Let's see. Yeah, I guess it doesn't go far enough ahead to get into Georgia. It's all right. That's the next week, I guess. Let's see.
And then the other one I had that I wanted to mention was, I got sent this from ARRL. I'm sure probably you guys have seen this one as well, but it's Poland is doing their big one this weekend.
Oh, really?
And there's going to be about 1,000 stations on. From what now I've got it up on the screen there. I don't know if you guys can read that, but it looks like it might be interesting. So I was actually going to see if I could make some contacts. I've already got Poland on my countries, but I was gonna see if maybe, just maybe, I could make some contacts out of Poland. I think that'd be cool. So I just wanted to mention that was the other one that I'm thinking about getting involved with a little bit this weekend. And then I think that's this one here, this SPDX. That's this one here, and it goes on from the 3rd midday till late the 4th. And then the other one is the EARTTY. I don't know what that is.
Radio teletype.
Yeah, I know what that is, but I don't know what the
contest is.
I will admit I've never done it. I've never done already. I wanna mess with it one day. I'll put it right after WinLink.
Most of your like FL Digi and most of your programs like that can do RTTY.
I think one of my rigs actually does it too. I don't know how, but it says something on there about it.
But it's kind of like some of the other digital modes. You want to run it at low power.
Right. Yeah, I've been trying to on just for information. We've talked about the amount of power I'm having to run, and the other day I went to 80 and I was running 50 watts and I was making some contacts. It was taking me a little while. It was difficult, but I was making them. When I go up, when I bring that wattage up, I do make a lot more contacts. I think it's just the amount of foliage and the things with my antenna. I really do. I think that's what it is. And the way I'm designed, my antenna is designed around my tower and all that crap. Anyway. All right. So there's contesting. Anything else on that, or anybody have anything else with that?
Well, I'll make you a believer out of you on 80 meters. I think it was last year field day, or maybe it was winter field day or sometime. I actually contacted Philip let's see, Pennsylvania and New York on sideband on 80 meters running 5 watts. So it's doable.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I've already decided this year. I've at night there's only 4 of us operating at night. I think maybe 5 this year. I think we've got a new guy that's going to come and he may even be in tonight. I'm not sure. That's going to come out and work with us. I think we're actually going to have 5 on the overnight for summer. And if we're still 7 or 8 stations and there's only 5 of us, then I'm going to run digital and phone overnight. I'm going to run them both. I'm bringing both my rigs. I can't help it. All right. Next topic. Next tech topic. Ask questions now, guys, especially if you're younger like me and you haven't been doing this long. And I don't mean younger age-wise. I mean, look at my hair. But if you are younger in ham radio, like I am, then feel free to ask any questions that you have. I don't know if there's any new folks in here tonight. I really don't.
I see one gentleman on here, Denny, K9AAV from Kewanee, Wisconsin, has joined us tonight.
Nice.
We'll tell him no
Yeah.
more.
All right. Well, guys, welcome in. If you haven't been in before, you're welcome to bring any topics in that you would like. We're open topics tonight, and we're taking any tech topic that you have. And when you bring the topic, we then go around the entire room and we let everybody comment to see if anybody has any suggestions for you or anything that might help you get going. We've talked about just about everything on here. That's tech related, of course. So bring in whatever you guys want right now. So anybody that has any topic, there's no stupid questions. There's no ignorant topics. There's only stuff that we can talk about. You don't have to turn your camera on to participate. We prefer you do, but you don't have to. And all we ask is your name and call letters on there, or tell us who you are when you come in. That's all we ask. But go ahead and come in now. If anybody has any questions or would like to just bring up a topic, that's all you have to do, and we'll talk about it. Come now. Wow, this is a tough crowd tonight.
Somebody's got to have something.
All right. Well, I hope you guys don't check the veal, tip your waitress. I don't know. This is crazy. Okay. Well, let me think what else I'm working on. There's a neat program. I found a couple of neat programs. There's a program called, I think it's called Scan Record. It's called Scan Record. And it's a neat program. Like if you're going to be gone out of town and you're going to miss your net or whatever, or, you know, you're waiting for something to happen on the radio or even something, whatever, on any radio or anywhere. You could put this on your radio, on your computer, and you just plug it in, your microphone into your radio, whatever your interface is, however you want to do it. And it records, and it's Vox. It only records when someone's talking. So you come back from your trip like a week later, and there's a 4-hour file there, and it's all the radio nets that you missed that week. So you can go back and listen to them if you want to. It's something I've used a few times just in the last few days because it's allowed me to go back and listen to the net, and then I just delete it.
Basically, DVR for ham radio.
Yeah, it basically is DVR for ham radio. Exactly. And it's neat. You set up a file, you press record, and it actually gives you total time on, and then right below that, total time actually has been recorded. And you can set the Vox threshold. Really a cool program. It's called Scan Record, and it's a freebie.
Interesting.
Yep. Other than that, I got these older computers. I'm working with a way to do virtual desktops and stuff right now because I'm the project I'm kind of working on. But you know how you always have 3 or 4 little projects and one big one in the background that you're working on. Well, the big one in the background I'm working on is an interface so that I can let you do FT8 with my radio. And I want to get it to where we eventually have some radios, a couple of them, maybe 2 or 3 of them, 4 of them, that are set up on FT8 on a certain band. And you dial in and you've got your own desktop on that computer. And you dial in and There's your WJSTX, there's your grid tracker, there's your logbook, there's everything all set up the way you want it on that radio. And you can dial in whatever your time is for the day. You're signed up from 9 to 11 o'clock. You sign in, you go to that radio, you dial in, and now your FT8's connected. You can go on right now. So your homeowners association can't stop this.
Yeah.
I know they want to. I know they do, but they can't. And you dial into here, and you can use my radio to get on FT8. And if we can get a really good antenna set up, we can do it with just 15 or 20 watts. So the duty cycle on the radio is going to be crap. It'll last for a long time. We can buy some old FT100 like this. I love my FT100, my Shack in the Box. We'll buy one of those, and we can set it up to do all kinds of different bands. And eventually, I picture us having setups on each band, and we'll use band pass filters so we can run the antennas closer if we have to. But eventually have it set up to where you can dial into 40 and use it, and actually have an online schedule, a running schedule online, to where you can actually just pull out, you go to it, you click the page, there's the schedule. And you look, oh, nobody's signed up for the 80 machine tonight. So you dial into the 80 machine, you've got it all night. You just sit there and work FT8, and it drops right into your logbook automatically. And everything you do goes right into QRZ, right into Logbook of the World, right into Logbook of the Old Man, QSL, EQSL, E-Club, and all the other logbook. There's just too much of this stuff, really. But you can have it drop right into whichever one you want it to drop into. And it would all be done right from your virtual desktop that you set up on my server that's hooked to my radio. Does that make sense? Yeah. And once I get the first one set up, I take donations, I set the second one up. I take donations, I set the third one up. There's cheap radios out there. I don't even need rig control. I'm going to buy used radios from the club for $300, you know, and put them online, get them online, and hook them up to a computer. I got 2 computers already fast enough over here, and I'm going to be setting them up right now. I'm going to be working on getting them set up so I can hopefully get you guys a test drive before long, so you can test drive 1 or 2 of them. And once I can get a couple of them hooked up, I'm going to be looking for places to hook up more of them. And I get people to sponsor either venue, sponsor financially, sponsor with an old radio you've got laying around. We can do this. It's a cooperative. I'm not creating a club. I'm not creating anything. I'm creating a group, a cooperative, basically, a group of guys that are putting together a rack of radios, basically, that you can dial into. And that's what I'm trying to do. And so I'm looking for any input that you guys might have on that. That's kind of my vision, my goal, my plan. I want to eventually have it to where you're dialing into an 80 machine, but that machine can do anything you want to do with it. Maybe it's set up for FT8, maybe it's set up for FT whatever. But eventually we'll have some with rig control, and eventually I want to have, and I've already seen these online. I've already dialed up and taken a test drive on one, working phone online. You could actually work phone online. Your headphones have a little button on them right here. That's your transmit button. And you can QSO right there. CQ. It works. It's right there. You use your space bar if you want for your transmit button, and it works just like you're there. But you're at home on your computer, but you're still talking on phone, and it's still legitimate radio. So that's my plan, is to get radio to our members. 40-50% of our members have sky restrictions. Probably higher than that. I'm totally guessing, so I'm guessing low. I bet you 40-50%, I'm probably guessing low, have some kind of sky restrictions and can't get sky, can't get out on HF. Got a neighbor with an old TV, whatever, and this would do it. So anyway, does anybody have any input on that? What's you guys' thoughts on something like that? Do you think that's something that people would be interested in?
Yeah, I think so. And I've been interested in, kind of getting something like that going around here. You get some of these older guys, they have to give up the hobby. They'll have to sell their equipment and move into some development where they can't have any kind of equipment. This kind of thing would make it possible for them to be able to stay on the air.
Exactly. And you can do this from anywhere you have a laptop and a headset.
Yep.
Now, there are services like that that already exist today, but they charge for it.
They charge.
Right.
Piccarelli uses one that's got radio systems that are set up all over the world, and you can dial into take your pick, dial into a radio system someplace on a mountaintop and talk HF around the world from that system, from his armchair down in Bonita Springs. But
Yeah.
it costs, I forget what the devil it costs. There's a monthly fee and then a per minute usage fee.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, it can be done privately. Ian is right. There's certainly ways to do this. One of the things we were looking at for a while back was a product called Rig Control. I think it is.
Is it Rig Pi?
Yeah, there is now a Rig Pi.
Yeah.
And we knew we could set up a unit connected to a radio and then remotely control it from home. That exists. And as a matter of fact, I've got the hardware to do that. What we were talking about, though, that was having other people with the control head part of it so that more than one person could use the setup. Unfortunately, the expense of the control head by itself just made it impractical. There was just no way to make that work out. So we gave up on that idea. But Ian's on the right track. It's something that can be done. And I think with Pis and things today, probably a lot cheaper than what we were looking at years ago.
Yeah, I've been doing some reading this week on Windows Desktop and Citrix, and actually another option. There's different ways to do it, but I want to do it to where you set your desktop up, and then every time you come back to that 80 machine, that's the same desktop, just like you left it, and it would work great like that. And then eventually have a 40 machine, a 20 machine, and eventually maybe more. I don't know. I just really see this as being something that we could take off. And I want to do it completely nonprofit. I think where a lot of these places have run into problems is they have a great system and they went profit. And I think I want to do this completely nonprofit, and I want to do it with a small group of guys, and I want to do it with the group of guys that's using the radios. You know what I mean? I want it to be a true cooperative and not some venture that we're doing for some ultimate goal somewhere else or something. But I want it to be a true cooperative between folks where I'm not going to ask you for a set amount of money. I'm going to ask you to donate that old radio when you're done with it, so, and then bring it over and we'll hook it up together and get it going, and you can dial into it. There's a lot of people that move down here that would give a radio to a cooperative like this, and then we put that radio on the air, and now they can dial into it, and they're good. They've done their contribution to the thing. So I don't know. I've got to work it all out. There's a lot of it. I want to work it out with the least amount of administration and have it to where it's basically just an open cooperative, to where it's just a group of 20 or so, 30 guys, maybe, working together to get this done. So if anybody's interested in that, I'm not taking members right now or anything like that, but I am putting it out there. I've run a bunch of different nonprofits. I've done stuff. I ran the largest ghost hunting society in Florida for a while. And I ran a Fireman's Fund for 10 years. So, I mean, I've done all kinds of this kind of stuff in the past. And so I think I could be successful with this if I put my energy into it and I have some help. So I'm going to do it. And you know what's great about it is there's no bridges getting burned. It's not a club. We're not doing anything that's a competition with anybody else. We're all still members of FMARC. This is basically just a single venture that goes along with everything else that we do in amateur radio. And that's basically all I'm looking at. But I love FT8, and everybody I talk to, it seems like every other person I talk to tells me, oh, I'd love to do FT8, but I can't. Well, why can't you? It's just too much for me to get all this hooked up and this and that and the other thing. Well, what if I had it where you could sign into a desktop and it's already there? And then all I had to do was give you a 30-minute tutorial where you and I could both dial into the terminal together, and I instruct you on how to use it. It's ready to go. I just instruct you on how to use it. Now you can find the joy of FT8 and how cool it is without even ever having to figure out a TNC, because I'm telling you, they're a pain in the butt. But anyway, so there you go. That's where I'm at. And of course, then the sky restriction is the big one.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of guys out there that just they don't want to do the whole thing themselves. They wouldn't mind playing with it for a little while. So anyway, all right. That's
JS8 is
mine.
just an extension of FA of FT8.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And FT4, I've been trying to get FT4 contacts, and I don't know if you guys have had any luck with FT4. What I find is when I go to FT8 and I cannot find anywhere to park my car on either side of the street, that's a good time to go to FT4, because there's a lot of other people that have done the same thing. If I can't find anywhere to put my transmit on either side, then I go to FT4, because that's what everybody does when there's no room left on FT8. And I've been getting some FT4 contacts that way. All right. Anything else on FT8 or any of that kind of stuff? Remote stuff? Remember, TeamViewer, guys. TeamViewer is free for nonprofit use. Amateur radio obviously is nonprofit use.
You can get TeamViewer clients for Mac, Windows, and Linux.
Yes. And I take my tablet to work and dial in and do FT8 on my tablet with my little stylus that I pull out of my phone. And I'll sit there in a staff meeting at work. Nobody from my work's on here, right? I'll sit there at a staff meeting at work with my tablet on my leg doing FT8. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Okay. Oh good. Oh, that's Brazil. And I'm working FT8 over here. I like that. I think that's what's neat about FT8 is you don't need to hear or speak to do it. So you can do it anywhere. My wife and I have fun with it in the evenings. I dial in with my old laptop in my bedroom, and I put it between us in front of us, and we kind of do it together. She's like, oh, look, there's a good one, and we'll try to get them together and stuff. And it's kind of turned into a little fun thing for my wife and I even. So, and we use TeamViewer for that. And I have my laptop out here signed into my laptop in there, and then I'm controlling the machine out here. And it's funny because I had it set on 60 watts the other night, and I got Alaska came up, and he couldn't hear me. So my wife said, you almost killed 3 cats getting to that shed to turn up that radio. I got out here. I fell. I got in here. I tripped over a box. I almost face planted into the side of the desk here. And I reach up, and as I'm on the floor, I reach up and I'm dialing that knob. Go. I got Alaska. I got my 50 States award this last week. So there you go. I got it.
Elusive Alaska, finally.
And there was no cats injured in the making of me getting Alaska. So that's always a good thing too. Anyway, FT8's fun, and it's a good workout. If your wattage knob's in one room and your control system's in another room, it can be a bit of a workout. But anyway, because I don't leave it turned obviously don't leave it turned way up all the time. Anything else on FT8? God, I love FT8. Okay. Anything else? Next tech topic.
VE exam session. Are we still on for April 13?
I'll put that out there.
What was the question?
Next VE session.
Next VE session for April 13th. Is that still active? And are we going to be holding that over at the EOC? I heard that we were going to be able to have 20 folks available or 20 spots available. If that's correct. If not, please correct me.
I don't think it was 20 spots. I think it was 20 people, but the answer is, the first answer is yes, it is still on the agenda. Larry Stiles has people signed up who are going to take exams. I think he's short. He could use more people. There's going to be one person who'll be getting special attention. So we're going to have 6 VEs, at least 6. I think he's got 8 VEs signed up for the session. So the answer is, yep, it's going to happen, and it will be at the EOC. Ta-da!
Cool.
Gates open at 6 o'clock, and the session starts at 6:30.
Oh, very good, very good. I may be supplying a new ham for testing that evening.
Oh,
Well,
good.
make sure you register him on the club's website with Larry.
Reservation, because Larry Stiles said all of his slots were filled up, didn't he?
Now, that was last month.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was the last one. All right. Yeah, I'll go ahead and check that out tomorrow morning before traffic nap.
Yeah, make sure he's signed up on the website and make sure he signs with FCC for an FRN.
Right. Yeah, got to have the FRN number ahead of time. Correct.
Yes. Okay.
Cool.
Fantastic.
I will
news.
be there too. I'm looking forward to it. I as much as Rich's church is awesome, and it's been a wonderful facility, and it's where I took my tech test. The EOC is a little more compelling when I'm trying to interest folks in things. So that works out good to be able to. For those of you who don't know, I take folks when they get their license, as soon as they pass their tech, I take them back to the radio room and I spend a few minutes talking to them. I give them some information. I try to pump up the volume a little bit before they leave and try to get them on the nets and stuff. And I'm having limited success. I think I'm going to try extortion next, but I'm not sure. I'm going to see what I got to do to get them on the nets. All right. Next tech topic. All right, anything but politics and religion.
Or sex.
I'm not going any further than that.
I got something that's kind of digital, but it's not ham related. I wondered if anybody on here is into Bitcoin.
Mm,
Nobody, huh? I'm trying to find out as much as I can about it because I'm kind of interested.
I didn't hear the question, Steve. What are you asking?
Okay, how's that? Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, I wondered if anybody was into Bitcoin.
I'm not, but I know a guy named Tony Locke who was one of the originators of Bitcoin. He started maybe 8-10 years ago, lives in Warren, Vermont. Fascinating guy. I can talk about him, but he's one of the originators of the system.
Yeah, okay.
All I know is it's got the volatility of a solar storm.
Well, it's supposed to be more stable than the US dollar.
Not that I've noticed,
Yeah.
but
working a hurricane.
I'm not poo-pooing. I'm sitting back and watching with my US dollars in my pocket.
I wouldn't take a bet on Bitcoin.
Mm.
You take a bet on it. If you bought it early, you'd be a wealthy man now.
You're right.
Yeah, but it's a little late to buy it early. That's the problem.
Yeah, what I wouldn't give.
Actually, it's not a little late to buy it early.
Think so?
This is still early.
Okay.
So what is it, early to buy it late? I'm confused.
Yeah, this would be considered still early.
Well, good luck. Of course, my problem is, and I say this by way of full disclosure, you're looking at a guy who told his mother back in 1993, don't buy Microsoft. It's a dumb investment.
Yeah,
She never let me forget that one.
I've been there. When I started playing the stock market, I watched $2,000 go right down to zero.
Like
Yeah.
I said, don't put anything in there you can't afford to lose.
Right. I watched it go down. When it started going down, I got stubborn and wouldn't take it out.
Yeah. It's kind of disappointing to watch your money swirling down the toilet hole.
Yeah.
Well,
do that
Forrest
with
Gump
I do-
bought money in a fruit company.
Yeah. Talk about money swirling down a toilet. We watch that every year with our taxes. I mean, it's no different. really.
Yeah. You already have enough of that.
Yeah. Well, it's not that we've had enough of it. We're already acclimated to it. It's cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay. You guys are quiet tonight. It's probably good that we're not going to 11 o'clock because I'm a little punchy tonight. But I will tell you, there's not a whole lot going on space weather wise. As you guys know, I frequent my favorite website, spaceweather.com. And according to spaceweather.com, all is quiet on the sun. And that's pretty much it. There was a sunspot coming around the backside. It's just not really, it didn't really do, they really thought it was going to do more than it did. So I was kind of hoping that thing was going to come around and really blast the hell out of us, but it didn't happen. So I'm probably the only guy out here hoping that the sun hurls deadly mass ejections at us, but it would be cool.
It's funny when the media starts talking about solar storms and all that, and I feel like saying, well, good, maybe 10 meters will open tonight.
Yeah. It's like, I love solar storms right up to the point that the power grid goes down. Yeah. So anyway, but anyway, yeah. So anyway, there's not a lot going on there. And then of course, there's not a lot here either. The band's, it's a little unsettled, but not a lot going on. The solar flux index is 74, and I don't know. It's fairly, the atmosphere is fairly stable right now, and the bands are somewhat closed off tonight is what it says. But you know what, no matter what, FT8 usually works. A weird thing happened today. I had a few hours before I went to work, and I was watching 20, and I was making some contacts on 20, and I'm watching all the little people talking on there, and see all those little like hash marks on the waterfall. Those are all little people to me. And all those little people were talking, and all of a sudden it started fading out. And I watched over the course. I told my wife, I'm like, honey, look at this band. This band's going to hell in a handbasket right in front of me. And it phased out to where the little people were almost gone. And it was like, I could barely see them in the background. And then about 20, 25 minutes later, they were completely back to normal again. It took about an hour for the entire process to happen. It could have been some kind of local thing. My neighbor's dryer, maybe, I don't know. But it was just interesting that for about an hour, I watched a band go to hell and come back again. I thought that was pretty cool.
Weird.
Yeah. I don't know if it's local. I might have had a cat on the roof. I don't know. But I love to study stuff like this. You know, I couldn't figure ghosts out. I'm trying to figure this out now.
You wonder if somebody took a whiz on your antenna or something.
Yeah, well, let me put this out there. Do you guys know when I stay up overnight, which I would do sometimes, and work all night, like on 80 and 40? When I'm on 40, when the dew sets outside, my SWR changes.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I couldn't believe that. I'm like, why in the hell at 2:30 in the morning does things go wonky? I got ghosts in the machines. My SWR is all messed up. So I go in, I start dialing back and forth. Guess what? I finally figured it out. I walked outside to go in the house because I actually have a real shack. I walked outside to go in the house, and the grass is wet. And I'm thinking,
I'll do it.
So I started tracking when the dew sets, when we reach dew point, and it actually, over the course of about an hour, my SWR will change quite a bit on 40 meters because there's dew in the trees and dew in the grass. Just putting it out there.
Yep. I'm not terribly surprised. Now, I have found that I've got end-fed half-wave antennas. I found they're not quite as sensitive to that, but then you're feeding them at the high impedance point.
Right.
But you're probably feeding your antenna at 50 ohms or, maybe 300 ohms or something like that. It's going to be a little more sensitive to it.
Yeah, I just got a straight wire dipole, just a wire dipole, 2 wires coming from on an inverted V.
Yeah.
But
are you feeding it straight with 50 ohm cable or what?
No, I've got ladder line going to and you know what? I don't know if it's a bail-in or an unknown. I've been unable to exactly identify it or open it. And my wife tells me the same thing my mother used to tell me. Some things aren't meant to be opened. And I'm like, BS. Some things are made, everything's made to be open. How do you know how it works? I got to know how it works in there. My mother, put that VCR back together and it better work. It better work. I bet it'll still blink 12 all the time. Anyway, I had an issue with that. I used to take everything apart. I'd always put it back together and have it all working before they get home.
I used to take
I
clocks.
take the TV apart. Yeah, I take everything apart. I take it apart, see how it works, put it back together. And eventually my eyes got worse. Technology got smaller. That stuff ended. Yeah. And now they just like this ununveiling thingy I got where the coax hooks into the ladder line. It's literally like glued together. I can't see what's inside there. I need to
Probably a
take it.
401 Ballon, that's my guess.
I'm gonna take it to TSA and see if they'll scan it for me and tell me what's inside. Maybe my doctor. I don't know.
Ian,
Yeah.
I'm going to say good night to you and everybody else. Have fun. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay,
All right.
Steve.
Have a good one, guys. We'll
Take
talk
care,
to everybody
guys.
later.
Take
All
care.
right. We'll see you later, Steve. Have a
Okay.
good one.
SYP is also leaving. Thank you.
All right, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you later. Yeah, it's an
Thanks.
early night. It's been a long week. I get it. I'm right with you. All right,
Yeah.
guys. Have a good night. We'll see you later. All right. And for everybody that's remaining, is there any other topics that we want to discuss? Anything else?
Steve Hayden. Hello, Steve Hayden.
Yeah, there's still 8 of us in here. So
Yeah, there's something I'm probably going to do here pretty shortly.
what's
I
that?
like this logging package called N1MM Plus.
I have it.
Yeah, that's a great program, and I typically use it when I do, state QSO parties and everything. The only
Mhm.
problem is it runs only on Windows until they come up with something called Wine on Linux, and that's going to be one of my next things. I'm going to try to get that to run under Wine. I understand it's been done, and you got to do is map your port names, and it should work. So that's going to be something I'm going to try to do here soon. I sure would love to not have to worry about a Windows box.
Yeah, I know. This is mine here. I just pulled it
Yep.
up. It's still set for my contest I did the other day. I did that one
love
last
it.
weekend.
It's a wonderful
yeah.
program, and you can drop a Cabrillo Cabrillo file and send it in, and send your login to the QSO party or whatever your contest sponsor is, and you're good. So you don't have to worry about paperwork, and it keeps track of your frequency. If you get it set up right, it'll keep track of your frequency and your time and all that good stuff. So all you got to do is worry about putting the station and the exchange in, and you're good.
Yep, and it's good with contesting. It will actually put up it'll make graphs for you and put up the little boxes and show you what states you've got and everything. It is not the most high-tech thing I've used, but I will tell you it works great and it's free. That's the thing. You do not need to buy HRD rip-off software.
Oh, I wouldn't buy that.
Yeah, you don't need to buy HRD software unless, now I'm telling you, if you like getting ripped off, if it's fun to you, if you like it, if you like not being able to sit down for a couple of days, HRD software is your software. It's good stuff. Try it.
If
But
you
for the rest of us, just stay away from that crap.
send it to N1MM as a contribution or something.
There you go. Yeah, just send them the money because you're going to lose your $100 there. I'm telling you. But anyway, I also will say I know several people that use HRD and love it.
Yeah.
I also know 3 other people that have had the same experience as me. So the percentage is really, really bad. So anyway, but I will put that disclaimer out there. I actually do know a couple of people that like it. And they're actually predominant people within our club. So that know what they're doing. So it does work for some people. It just, if it doesn't work on your computer or your system, you're screwed. You won't get your money back. Anyway, this is that N1MM. And I use that for my voice contacts. Anytime I'm going to do voice contacts, I use this, unless it's POTA. I do POTA, I make the contact, and then they put it in the POTA log. And then what I do is about once a week, I check POTA. And if anybody has put me in for POTA, then I go add that to my logbook manually. It's easy to do.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing a contest, I use this N1MM because in this software, you set it right here. You go in and you would set up a new log. Or did I do it right? Yes. You get this screen here, and this is where you would set it up for what contest you're working right here. And notice it's got all the contests in it.
Oh,
It
yeah.
took me a while to find the right one because it's the DXPR LTTSPF contest.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, no, not the DXSSB DSTS1 SB contest. No, it's the DSTSB TSB1 SB contest. Okay, got it.
Okay. Plus you got a state KSO party entry down there, and you go down there and put that in, and then you enter the state.
Yeah, and then you put in your stuff here and power, and it's just to let you guys know, most of these programs default for high power, and most of us are running barefoot at 100 watts. That's not high power.
Yeah.
Just I know you guys probably already know this stuff, and I'm a newbie. I get it, but I'm just, maybe if you don't, I'm just letting you know, if you do this as high power, you're going to be up there with the big dogs trying to score with the big dogs, and it's going to look even worse than it's going to look normally.
It really is. And that
So
assisted thing that's there, that's not assisted living. That's if you are using some type of spotting, I believe.
Yeah,
you turn that to non-assisted, but you know, that's just me.
yeah, I said it for non-assisted. There, in some of them, that means that you can't have like a spotter that's
Yeah.
calling you up and saying, "Hey, man, 40's running. Get up on this frequency. There's people. I just made 3 contacts myself." That's assistance.
Yeah.
Most of them will still allow you to use like a PSK reporter or an online reporter of some kind and still do
Spotter,
that.
spot
But you
deal.
do have to look per contest. I ran in the one contest where they don't want you to use any assistance if you're going to use no assistance.
Yeah.
So, and that included the PSK reporter, which I was kind of surprised.
Yeah.
And I try to follow the rules. You know, I get it. It's good.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there you go. That's how that works. So if you want to do contesting, it's really not that difficult. I was making it out to be a lot more difficult than it is. Then when you're done with this, all you do is, when you're all done with this, you export it as a Cabulo blah, 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 file, and you generate that file, and it'll make that file for you, and you just save that file wherever, and then all you do is email that file to whoever's doing the contest. That's all you do.
Yeah.
But here's what else you can do. You can upload it to QRZ. You can upload it to Logbook of the World through your TQSL. You can upload it to everybody else right from there too. So you get credit. That's what I like about this. When I do phone contacts for contesting on M1MM, I still get phone contact credit for all those contacts over in my regular logbook.
Mhm.
So I'm using all of my phone contacts are either POTA or a SSB contest.
Mhm.
All of them. So.
Yep.
All
I
right.
like this program so well, I'll just forgive him for being Windows only. I'm going to try to figure out how to get it running on Linux, but I don't think it's too terribly hard.
Have you checked to see if it's on one of those Pi chips? You guys help me out here, because I don't even know what they're called. But
I
you know,
doubt it will be there because this is written for Intel architecture. And the Pi is ARM, so I doubt it.
I was surprised what was on the ham utility. I was surprised,
there's a
but it
lot of
may
stuff.
not, but it may not be there. I don't know. I'm probably not there, like you said, because of the infrastructure. But it wouldn't surprise me if it was. I don't know. Steve, don't you have one? Don't you have that ham Pi?
Yeah, I think so.
Pi.
Yeah, it's called Ham Pi, and it's a guy up in Atlanta does that.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's on there or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought maybe if someone finds a way to do M1MM or whatever, let Rick and I know, because I'm interested in finding that out too. I'm good with Windows for now, but who knows?
Yeah.
I have a funny feeling that this ham Pi, or the Pi, not the ham, the Pi itself, the computer system itself, I might, in 2 years, I can see myself one day going, this is $50 and it does everything my Windows machine does, and it never forces updates on me, and it'll never leave me in the middle of the night. And I like that, and I almost can see one day that simple computer taking over this overly complicated mess that we've got here called Windows.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And not only that, the newer Pis are able to communicate, will be able to communicate and boot from external solid state drives. It's not
Yeah.
quite, and I believe it's already here, but you don't have to use that SD card. Yeah, because there's, some issues with those. But if you use a solid state drive, then you got all the wear leveling and everything, and it runs just like a regular hard drive. It's good, except it's faster.
And I almost kind of like that, because I'm thinking, you can have your entire operating system, the entire thing you're working on, everything you're doing, all your programs, everything you need on one chip. And then you can walk up to any system in the world that's set up the same way and just plug that in. And it's your
Yeah.
system now.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any of the other guys' stuff on it. It's your system. All of the data on that system is yours.
Yeah.
Because before you plugged your chip in there, it was nothing.
Yeah.
Basically. And I like that. I think that's a neat thing. And I also think that may in the future be one way to prevent hacking and things like that, is instead of your computer having the operating system, it's literally on a chip that you keep with you.
Yeah.
If I could take my entire computer and just pull the chip out and stick it in my wallet and take it with me, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. And there's really nobody can mess with it then.
And then have the exact same computer at work. And when I get to work, I just pop that chip in the side and that computer boots up and it works at work. And it's the exact same computer. You would never know that it's just in a different housing, basically.
Yeah.
I like stuff like that. I like that.
Different IP address and that kind of thing. But,
and I'll tell you, if there's anybody out there, and we're down to about 5 of us now, and you guys feel free to go whenever. I won't hold it against you, because I'm going soon too.
yeah.
But Windows machines, once you go to a solid state drive, it's very hard to go back and use an old machine again. It was almost like, you guys remember the first time you got an optical mouse and then you went back and you used a rollerball and it's like, wow, this rollerball sucks.
Yeah.
It's almost the same way with hard drives. Once I started using a solid state drive, it boots up like boot, 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 and it's done, and everything works really fast. And I click something and it instantly appears on the screen. And I've got 5 screens all hooked up to one little laptop and everything else. A lot of that's because of that solid state drive. And then they make the thing this thin. It's literally so thin. Now, it doesn't dissipate heat worth of crap. I actually have everything up. It's a fan, and I have 2 of them. One that blows. The computer has to sit on boxes, and it sits on the boxes, these 2 little squares, and I have a fan that blows underneath it, and then I have another fan that blows across the top of it to dissipate the heat. That's how bad it is. It sucks, but what are you going to do? I mean, you know what I mean? I have to dissipate the heat. That's the biggest problem with laptops, is heat dissipation, really. Bus rates.
Yeah.
The bus rates on the board usually aren't as good as you can get in a tower. But of course, they're not even making towers anymore. They're just like little boxes now, which probably have all the same problem.
All the same thermal problems as the big machines.
That was one thing you had with the big box computer, was you could add fans and do what you had to do to cool your system down and everything. So,
you can still get motherboards, just you can't get them here in town or anything.
Yep.
You have to get online and order stuff. I mean, I still order a lot of things out of town and just have it brought in. Because I used to be in Atlanta, so
I managed to keep my Amazon Prime. I order a lot of stuff through Amazon Prime simply because I ordered a Chinese radio from Amazon. They sent it to me, and 28 days after I bought it, I'm talking on the morning traffic net, and I picked up the mic and I keyed the mic, and it literally went kawoof. And all the magic smoke came out of the radio, and I literally had to kill the power supplier. It was like, I'm like, well, and I think the fuse finally blew, and I took it all apart, and the transmitter's just like burned through the board in the middle of this thing. And and it's this cheap Chinese radio. So I went on Amazon and I went to the thing and I'm like, what do you do? So I looked it up and it says you just go in and you fill out this thing on Amazon. So I went in and I filled it out. And I got a thing back 8 minutes later that says your new radio's on the way. And I'm like, I haven't even boxed the old one up. I think the old one's still smoking. And I had the next one at 10:30 a.m. the next morning. I had another Chinese radio, and it didn't blow up for months.
It didn't blow up for months.
Yeah, I'm not buying those no more. I'm down to one. I had 3 of them at one time, and they blow up. I use them a lot. They blow up. They're 75 watts. That's why I was buying them. They're 75 watts. They're the they're called the like EYT or QYT. I'm sorry, and I like them. Well, the QYT and TYT, both the same thing.
Probably made in the same factory in China.
I'm coming to find out that everything in China is made in one of 2 factories, pretty much. Yeah, and all the Baofeng stuff is one factory. The QYT and TYT stuff, I think, is the other factory, but they're all pretty much made in those factories over there. And but this particular one is, and I got a picture of it here. But this particular one, I love this radio, but the problem is, like I said, I've had 2 of them go kawoof, and they both blew up on the traffic net, and I don't see a connection. Yeah, I don't really see a connection there. But maybe there is. I don't know.
Poof.
Kawoof, and the smoke comes out.
Meltdown, you know?
And I think in amateur radio, the one thing that we should be working on right now is how to put the magic smoke back in the radio. If we could figure that out, then
That might be defying the laws of physics. I don't know, but who knows? It's been done before.
I like it. I like it. To show you guys the new, if you guys use QIT for your, or QRZ for your logbook, they've got a new logbook that just took over.
Really?
Yeah, this is it here. This is the new version. This is the preview version of the logbook, which actually just went live. It's not even a preview version anymore, but it just went live, and it's pretty cool. It's a little more graphical. And I like it. You can click on a QSO and it brings up all the pertinent information for both parties and everything. It's pretty cool. Boy, this thing's coming up slow for some reason. But yeah, there's all the info for the QSO. It's pretty in depth. And I don't know. I like this new logbook better than the old one. I use QRZ and Logbook of the World together as my logbooks. And I do like QRZ, although.
Do you directly enter those, or do you use something else and then it just upload it?
What I do, like for my FT8, what I do is I click this file right here and I import the ADI file, choose file, and then right over here I've got it saved, my WSJTX. Yeah. I'll double click that and then I'll import it, and that will import all of my new QSOs from my WSJTX into it.
Yeah.
And then once that's done, they'll pop up, and then from there I can then go verify them with Logbook of the World. Now, if I pay the $35 a year to QSL or QRZ, I'm sorry, if I pay $35 a year, they'll do all this automatically. But because I don't have the money right now to pay for it, I'm having to do it manually. So I go in. Now what I just did was I just uploaded, you can see here, I just uploaded 34 more inserts into my logbook. Then I go back up here to Logbook of the World, and I can import from Logbook of the World. And what this will do is it will verify all of my stuff from QRZ with Logbook of the World. And there, it confirms 16 of those already. And a lot more of those will come in later, but so now those are my new ones that have popped up there, are my 20 meters from today, are now in the logbook. So that's really all you have to do. The M1MM, You create
Yeah.
a Cabriello log. It'll
Yeah.
also create the ADIF log.
Yeah.
You create the ADIF file. You go into here and you upload it just like this, the same exact. And you can do the same thing with like I said, the only ones I enter manually is Parks on the Air. When I do a Parks on the Air or an incidental phone contact, whatever, then all I do is go here and I add QSO and I'll put in the call sign right here.
Yeah.
You just put in the call sign and hit it, and then it just brings up the thing, and you just put all the QSO information in there. It's pretty cool, and it's pretty quick, you know.
Yeah.
And like I said, what I do with POTA, as a hunter, I don't have to put anything in POTA. All I have to do is make the QSO. They have to fill out the logbook. The activator does, and then I go to POTA a week later, pull up my log from POTA, and just manually enter my stuff, cut and paste into the QRZ logbook, so I get credit for those.
Cool.
And that's how I'm doing it. I know it's probably messed up, but that's how I'm doing it. But anyway, I do like the new logbook. But the reason I was coming in here was to show you guys my page here. It'll get there eventually. But you go down. I haven't even updated this yet with all my new stuff. Man, this thing's loading slow. Look at this.
Mm.
I mean, I'm only doing 7 things with 5 screens. What the hell's wrong with this computer? Yeah, there's my that's the radio right there that I'm talking about. It's it's a QRT. It's a QYT.
QIT. I was like QRT. QRT. That would be it quits after a while.
It's the I'm sorry, it's the 980 plus.
Hmm.
It's the 980 plus, QYT 980 plus. If I said the wrong letters, it's because I'm dyslexic and foolish and tired. But
Actually,
anyway.
these are QRT also. They smoke and they go QRT.
Yeah, they go QRT, all right. They turn into a little well, they're not even heavy enough to be a boat anchor. I mean, they're really
Yeah.
worthless. But I've had 2 of these blow up. Now the third one I have is I've had a while now. This third one I've had for probably 4 or 5 months, and it's hanging in there. But I'll tell you what I've done with this one. I'm only using it on high watt when I need to.
Yeah.
Like if I put it on my 2 Yeagis, I can hit the Charlotte County repeater on low watt. I
Yeah.
can hit all the Lee County ones except AC4TM. I'll use high wattage so that they can hear me clearly.
Yeah.
And the NI4CE, I'm using high wattage to get up to Verna. Other than that, I'm trying to run it at 1 watt.
Run it at 1 watt so it doesn't Chernobylize.
Yep. They say that the magic smoke likes to come out when the wattage is higher. So,
Yeah, that seems to be a corresponding.
but I love these little radios because they actually watch 4 channels at the same time. I don't know if you noticed that there's actually 4 channels on at the same time.
Yeah.
And that was what the allure to me was, the fact that I could monitor 4 things. I don't like scanning. I hate scanning because when you're scanning, you end up coming in the middle of a conversation, or you'll hear on frequency listening.
Which frequency?
Which freaking frequency, dude? I'm scanning, you know, I hate that. I like how Robert says it every time he talks, but I like that. I like it. I wish everybody would do it. I do. I think that I wish people would give the damn frequency they're on, so I know. But when you have this, you know what's neat about this? The last frequency that had traffic, the arrow will be on that to let you know that was the last frequency that had traffic. That's cool as hell.
Yeah.
So I do like that radio, but I'm not buying any more Chinese radios for most part. I'm gonna buy old used radios at these ham. fests and stuff.
Yeah,
I've
well,
had the most fun buying 15-year-old Yazoos and stuff and just
I was
playing
gonna
with
say
those.
Yaesu, Kenwood, and ICOM. Stick
Yep.
with those, and you'll be good.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm an old Motorola guy. I
Yeah,
grew up
those are
with
great
Motorola.
radios.
I did 25 years and I did just shy of 20 years in government service.
Yeah,
And then even in the private sector, I've used a lot of Motorola equipment. I owned my own Meritrack 99 channel 100-watt mobile, and I owned my own HT 600 for a long time. I owned that radio, and God still had it. I think it's in one of these boxes. I'm not sure. Um, but the thing that gets me is I love Motorola stuff, but I can't afford it to buy it. I can't afford to program it. I can't afford to fix it. So I'm just not even looking at it.
yeah.
But I bought a Yazoo that's 16 years old. It's an old mil spec Yazoo ham radio, but it's military spec. And they made a big deal about that, but I realized why. It's 16 years old and it's a boat anchor. There's not a thing wrong with it. It works perfectly, and you
Mhm.
can't kill this thing. But it only monitors one channel. That's the only bad thing, and it's only VHF. But what a great radio!
Yeah, it's
And
good.
I mounted it in my van,
Mhm.
50 watts,
Oh, nice.
and yeah, works good. So I'm going to start looking for that. I've decided that I'm going to start now that I've got this second job. I've got a lot of jobs, but second big job, I guess you could say. I'm going to now have a little bit of money, and I'm going to start going to these swap meets, and I'm
Swap
going to
meets, yeah.
start buying old radios. I want older radios, and then I'm going to be repurposing them with computers. I want to set up a series of PSK reporters, and I don't know. I'm doing all kinds of neat stuff with.
Just make sure they've got the cat, cat in and out. You know, usually RS
Right.
232 or something like that. So
Yeah, I would love to get cat control working on my two radios. I use both of them with Vox. I don't even use cat control. If I do that thing I'm wanting to do, I do eventually. I
I
certainly want
love
to
it with the
get it work.
logging and all that.
Yeah,
Because when I log, it reads it pulls the radio, gets the frequency, and of course the log program also gets the correct time. So all I got to do is just enter the call sign in the exchange, and away you go.
yep.
You don't have to worry about
And
that.
normally, when you're using FT8, which is what I do most of the time, you're set on a single frequency.
Yeah,
And so it's rig control is not a big deal. Where rig control to me is a big deal is when I'm logging phone contacts.
yeah, phone contacts. You really need
Um,
it there.
yeah, that's where you need it. Because you have to put that in manually each time. You do have to
Yeah,
do that. But I do that because I don't do a lot of phone. All the digital stuff, it captures that, because when I change my radio to 20 meters, that's what is it, 14074. I put my computer on 14074, and as long as they're both on the same number, I don't need
mhm.
rig control. I just need to make sure they're both on the same number. That's pretty much what I do. All right, guys, is there anything else?
Not for me. I think I'm gonna be ready to hit the hay before long.
Yeah, I'm going to bed. I'm tired. It's been a very long week, and I've got a Zoom meeting at 9 o'clock in the morning with Charlotte County,
Hmm.
and to figure all that out for that drill that we're doing in 3 weeks. So
Sounds like fun.
I think it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I love remote operating, and I don't do any of it because much of it right now because I don't have a bunch of friends yet doing it. But I'm trying to make those friends and get those contacts and all that. And this was a good opportunity, and I figured I can't do everything they need me to do up there, but I figured I got friends down here in Fort Myers that can, so I just started putting the word out. And like I
Yeah,
said, Leo Four stepped up and said, he would do it with me. He's got battery systems and radios and stuff. My problem is I don't have battery systems. I don't have auxiliary power. I don't have a generator. I have a generator, but I can't take it anywhere.
yeah, it's too big here.
It's mounted. It's a 5 kW, but I've got it mounted down at my house and hooked up to my house.
Yeah,
But so I need a few people to help me out because I don't have everything I need. Man, I'm getting tired. All right, guys, I guess we're gonna call it. There's only four
Yeah.
of us left. Actually, there's 3 of us left because there's Leo.
No.
What's
I
up,
think
Leo?
he's hung up, and then just me and you, and that's all.
That's it. Yeah, because the monitor is just one of the things I do to make sure everything's going okay is I pull the Zoom meeting up on my tablet and stick it next to it. So that way I can always see what's going on the Zoom meeting, and I can make sure that it's doing what it's supposed to be doing,
Yeah.
that it's zooming or whatever it's zooming you're doing. But anyway, so there you go. All right. Well, I guess I'm gonna call it, guys. I'll catch you
All right.
guys later. Thanks for coming. Next week we'll be back in again. I don't have a topic yet. Maybe somebody will bring one, or maybe I'll come up with one. And then the following day I leave on vacation. So
Sounds good.
see you guys next week. Everybody have
All
a great
right.
one out there.
All right. I guess we'll
All
talk
right.
to you
Have a good
maybe
night.
Monday.
Yep. We'll talk to you then. Have a good one.
All right.
All righty.